let's get into this one though. We got Cameron with the. It is not 1-1. It's supposed to be 0-0, but they didn't. Production L, right here. Not a big deal though. Cameron with Lost Tina, my favorite deck, and then John with Mew. Excuse me. So I definitely favor Cameron in this one, as long as Cameron plays the Drapion, which I'm just gonna assume Cameron has Drapion. I definitely favor Cameron. So basically the way you can play this as Cameron is you can just like attack with weird Lost Zone dudes, and then the thing that John can do, like the thing that can be weird about this is like Cameron doesn't have to put a Tina V in play immediately, but then John can kind of sit there and just Psychic Leap and never leave a Mew VMAX in the active. So that can get kind of weird. I definitely favor the Tina deck here, but you usually want to probably just put a Tina in play aggressively so they can't just sit there and Psychic Leap. It looks like John has a pretty good opening hand though. So I definitely favor the Tina deck because you have Drapion knockout into Tina V-Star knockout. Are we starting at 1-1? It's not. It's 0-0. Yeah, Lost on Tina is definitely favored. Ideally you want to, but the thing is, the problem with that, Nicholas, is if you don't bench a Tina until you use Drapion, they don't have to leave a Mew VMAX in their active, like, ever. You can just like all right, Psychic Leap knockout, Psychic Leap knockout, Psychic Leap knockout, or just like Psychic Leap not knockout, and then just push up another Mew V and be like, go ahead. And then Cameron has to be like, well, and then you have to do something. Is that triple vacuum in the hand? Is that triple vac? Ooh, 4 Mew V on the bench is not good, but I think you have to do it here as John. Dude, that is triple vac, and I don't know what the other card is. Is it a tablet? You could have played that tablet, I think, here. There are the coins. It is a tablet. I think, let's take a look at that again. I think John should have played this tablet and drawn 2 cards with this first Genesect. I don't like the not draw. Tablets aren't that important in this matchup because usually you have to get through 1 Drapion and then 1 Tina V-Star. So it's usually, it depends how many Choice Spell John plays, to be honest. If John plays double Choice Spell, I think I would like to have seen the tablet go down. If John plays 1 Choice Spell, then maybe I'm fine with holding the tablet. Yeah, 4th Mew is pretty bad here. But if you can start to Psychic Leap them off the board, it's not that big of a deal. So you can start to like Psychic Leap them off the board. And then we get 2 off this. 2 shoes, double turbo. The double turbo's nice. The shoes kind of whatever. Some UV max. All right, so we got the turn 2 attack here from John. And then just pass over to Cameron. So Cameron here, so this is one of those weird things where you can kind of test the skill of your opponent or test how good your opponent is. Not really test how good they are, how well they maybe know the matchup. That's what I want to say. You can test how well they know the matchup. So Cameron this turn could just like fill up their bench with Greninja and a bunch of Comfies, maybe hit with Cram, and be like, go ahead. And then if John hangs a Mew VMAX in the active, next turn Cameron can be like, okay, Drapion, bench Giratina, knockout. So I'll be interested to see how Cameron chooses to play this here. We'll see if Cameron, like, if they have the option to bench a Tina, do they choose not to try and like see like, all right, does John know how to play this matchup? Or do they not? And now I can kind of take advantage of that because it doesn't seem like they know how to play this matchup. Cameron's like start is not that great here though. I don't think they have a ton of basic search here. Manaphy definitely is biting the dust. Yeah, there's like 3 Colress in the hand and a Roxanne. I thought this wasn't supposed to happen IRL. This is only supposed to happen on PTCG Live. What the heck? Got the Ultra Ball though. They're probably gonna use Comfy first here though because you want to maximize your basic finding potential, and then we can Ultra Ball. I think that might be another Comfy in the hand there. I can't actually tell. There's definitely a Sableye in the hand. Beach Court. You definitely want to hold the Beach Court there probably because you need to be able to bump Path to be able to actually use Drapion. So I think you have to take the Beach Court here as Cameron. For the Grass Energy. You saw me tap cards. Oh wait, I should speed this up. We're at normal playback speed right now. All right, Ultra Ball. What is that? Is it double Sableye? I like it. I'm fine with getting rid of double Sableye here as Cameron, to be honest. I think getting rid of double Sableye is fine. It goes with the Roxanne though. The Roxanne is still pretty good later on though. Like it's a good draw support of the Draw Judge or Roxanne. So I don't like getting rid of the Roxanne here as Cameron, to be honest. Because your win condition really isn't the, you know, your win condition is like KO2 Mew VMAXs pretty much all the time as this deck. You can go like different routes, but I'm interested to see if they go for the Greninja here or the Comfy. Greninja might be prized as well, in which case it wouldn't be even an option. But there should be at least a Comfy in here to grab. I didn't really check the prize cards beforehand, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. Double Cram. Oh, double Cram is prized as well here, actually, for Cameron. So Cameron's probably not attacking with Cram turn 1 here. There's like another reason actually that John should hold the tablet though, so that they can Psychic Leap. Would you consider adding a Drapion to your Turbo Box list, or think no? If you play Kyogre, you shouldn't play. If you play Kyogre, you shouldn't play Drapion. So I think we're gonna see attach retreat to the active here from Cameron. You definitely, like I said, you don't want to burn the boss versus Nest Ball. I think you probably go Nest Ball here and give up the boss. You just want to set up and then like push for more setup. You can probably bench a Sableye here as Cameron. So like the Giratina or there's no energy in hand, but there's no energy in hand, but there should be a Greninja in the deck then. Unless they don't play Greninja. I like the Comfy Grab here because there's no energy in hand. You want double Comfy. Okay, there is the Greninja in the deck. I don't know if I like the Greninja Grab or the Comfy Grab. I would probably go with Comfy here. Yeah. You can't use the Greninja. If you could use the Greninja, then I like the Greninja Grab, but also a lot of the energy in the Lost Zone already for Cameron, which isn't great. 2 energy in the Lost Zone. So 3 Comfies. I'd probably bench a Sableye here as well, because if you get Judge, you just don't want Sableye in your deck anymore, and you have plenty of bench space to work with, I think. So I like benching Sableye here, because I think you have the bench space to work with here to do that as Cameron. Okay, so now so this is like the big turn here for John. So John can either attack with Mew VMAX and leave Mew VMAX in the active, and then you can get Drapion, or John can Psychic Leap. So I would like to see John... They immediately retreated. I would like to see John not retreat immediately, but play the tablet, play into Psychic Leap, and then just draw cards with Genesect, and then Psychic Leap back to the deck. Got a Cram now. That's cool. Heads. I don't even know what you grab here. You could go for Judge. Is a Path? I'd probably go for Judge here, though, if I was John, because you're not that set up. And once again, you can Psychic Leap, so you're not leaving your Mew in the active to get KO'd by... Yeah, I don't think Path is that good here at all from John. You're not like in a situation where you're scared of Drapion, like at all. Like you're just not scared of Drapion this turn if you just Psychic Leap. So, and I assume that's what John's gonna do. So I would like a Judge there, because unless John plans on playing the Path and then vacuuming the Path out of play, but why not just Judge? That also refreshes your hand. So John is just favoring just getting the Path down. Psychic Leap, knockout. But then okay, so this is like the misplay here from John. Like John should just go back to the deck here. Like, Cameron's board state is not equipped to deal with... John has 2 Judge prized? Yeah, but you just go get a Judge out of it. There's a 3 or 4 Judge in this list for sure. There's no way. John's list actually might be available, so I can actually even, like, confirm. So, John should just go back to the deck here. There's, like, no reason... There's no reason John should not go back to the deck here. Yeah, John's list is available, so it's, like, peep that real fast. Yep, John has 3 Judge. Pretty predictably. Yeah, there's like no reason that John shouldn't be cycling back to the deck here. Now this is perfect for Cameron. Now Cameron can go, ideally get Tina V, bench Tina V, attack with Drapion. You do have the potential of getting Roxanne next turn immediately, and that's why I liked the idea of Cameron keeping their Roxanne around. But I think it's definitely the play you want to look for here as Cameron. You could wait another turn and thin out your deck further. That's what I was kind of saying. I was like, as Cameron, you can kind of test the waters and see how well John knows this matchup. You can kind of test the waters and see how well John knows this matchup. All right, so no Tina V. So just going Drapion, no Tina V isn't great here. Well, we're not done yet, actually, though. We do have the other Comfy. Still no Tina V. Maybe even have to go with the energy over the gate here. Yeah, it goes with the energy over the gate. There's a Sableye. I think Cameron might retreat to Sableye here. That's like definitely not unreasonable, to be honest. If Cameron could attack with Sableye here, attack with Sableye to put 6 on 2 of the Mews wouldn't be a bit terrible either. I see, I don't really like this play from Cameron. I don't know if Cameron can avoid doing this, though. I don't like attacking with the Drapion here as Cameron. Yeah, I don't like attacking with the Drapion here as Cameron if you don't have a Giratina V hitting the bench here. Because getting Roxanne next turn is, like, brutal this early on with how unthinned your deck is, with how little you have established in play as well. Once again, John should have Psychic Leaped a Mew back to the deck still. Even though, like, this board state is fine for John, I feel like, actually, like, this isn't terrible for John. John still should just, like, Psychic Leap back to the deck. Gotten a Judge, played the Judge, Psychic Leap back to the deck, rebuild from there. And the reason you want to play the Judge last turn is because then you can draw more cards with your Genesect and just see more new cards in general to help you chain the Psychic Leaps from this point on. But it's going to be a little bit harder to chain Psychic Leaps as John if you don't play that Judge last turn like they could have. So, now this turn you have to commit to Mew VMAX knockout. And then if Cameron just has... It's possible Cameron just has... Also, I don't think you want to burn a Path there as John either. It's possible Cameron just has the Clara for Drapion, because I doubt John plays Lost City, but maybe does. Actually, I can check. No, John does play Lost City. Okay, I take that back. So John actually can Lost City the Drapion here, which I guess is the goal. Does only play 1 choice belt. So yeah, Lost City the Drapion. Hope Cameron doesn't play 2, but actually I can check Cameron's list as well, and we can check Let me check Cameron's list, and I can know for sure. It's the same list. Okay. One Drapion. Okay, one Drapion, one Clara. Does have Thornton as well. But yeah, if the Lost City happens, then it won't matter. There's a Tails on that, though. The Lost City does have to be found here from John. And I think John really should definitely go for a Judge if possible. If they can find a Judge here, they definitely want a Judge. Or even Roxanne actually would be better, to be honest. Yeah, if they can find Roxanne, they should go for a Roxanne here. Can't imagine Stream would put a 2 Drapion list against a Mew on stream. I don't know how thoroughly they check the lists before they put them on stream, Snoopy. I'm actually not sure. And then also another like important thing is Cameron only does play. Oh, they found the Roxanne actually. They're kind of chilling. Yeah, Cameron only plays. So we just see that should just see the Roxanne get played right now. You should just play the Roxanne because it's more likely that you would draw. No, I don't like the Genesect for 1 here. I think this is bad. I think it's a misplay because I think I'm like. Let's see how the Chuck and Choose goes. There's the Lost City. Oh, we didn't have the Lost City yet. Okay, all right. That was pretty nice. I think that was like a little bit lucky there. But I think on average, if you play the Roxanne now, you're going to draw more than on average. You'll draw more than 1 card. You'll probably draw like 1.5 cards or something if you play Roxanne before you use the last Genesect. But if you use the Genesect right now, you're only guaranteed 1 card. So your potential outcome of seeing more stuff is higher if you play the Roxanne first. So you should definitely play Roxanne first there as John. That was a pretty nice draw, though. The Genesect for 1 into the Trek and Shoes into the Lost City. I mean, you can't really complain with that. John does need to still find a double turbo energy here. But like I said, I would like to have seen John Roxanne before that last Genesect use because I'm pretty sure your return on the Genesect after the Roxanne is probably like, it's probably actually like 2 point something, to be honest, cards. Like on average, you're going to draw 2 point something cards on that last Genesect after the Roxanne. See the Cram. No energy yet, so it comes down to this Cram. Cram away an escape rope and pray for John. Let's see. Tails and Drapion survives. That is huge for the board state here, I feel like. Because actually, I feel like Cameron could have been in a pretty bad spot if they'd whiffed. Did they just retreat? Retreat pass? Okay. I don't know what Cameron has in hand here. It depends how many Cram and Ultra Ball are left. Yeah, but like in the current situation, just on average, that's why I said just like on average, there's a higher return. Like, sure, current situation this, current situation that, but like on average, your return is just higher. like in like 95% of scenarios, your return is higher than just Genesecting for 1. So once again, that could have been why, like maybe John doesn't whiff there if John just plays the Roxanne first. Sure, they hit the Lost City, but not getting the knockout. Getting the knockout is more important than hitting the Lost City for sure. It doesn't seem like Cameron has a great. And this is why I wasn't like a huge fan of Cameron's potential play on the previous turn. Is because now you're in this situation. Like you could have been in a worse situation if your Drapion had gotten KO'd. You'd be like in a worse situation. You at least still have your Drapion to work with here as Cameron, but it's still not like a great situation because of the potential of the Roxanne, the early aggressive Roxanne with how little you've thinned out your deck with like so little established as Cameron. So maybe Cameron should have just chilled. Does go for the KO as well. Here on the Genesect. So they could have, I think there was a switch card in hand. Cameron could have switch carded to Cram and just punched with Cram potentially. So I think this is it. Because there's still so little established here for Cameron, I think this is still winnable for John. I think this is still winnable for John because of how little there is established here on the field. Genesect for 1. There's the double turbo. Still needs a modifier. I don't like that choice of draw there from John, though. You could have done quite a bit more. Probably don't want to play the boss, so I don't mind that. But you could have sent up Mew or Genesect and then switch carded into the Mew VMAX to begin your turn. Because the switch card was in the hand at the beginning of the turn. The top deck was the gloves. So not a big fan of that sequence there from John. Should have pushed Genesect first, switch into the Mew. Drawing 1 card is just so whack. Like, you drawing the second card is huge. You could have also gone Escape Rope plus Boss. Could have gone Escape Rope, switch card, Boss. I don't hate that as well, to be honest. That you don't get to potentially play Judge if you draw into Judge. But because Cameron didn't really do anything on their turn, you don't really want to judge Cameron anyways. So actually, I think I do like that play more that I think about it. I think Cameron should have gone Escape Rope, Switch Cart, Boss. Maybe you hold onto the Switch Cart and just play the Escape Rope. But you really don't want to judge Cameron because Cameron literally went Draw, Attack. I guess they do have like a 3-card net hand now because they got 2 off the prize cards. But I think you should just play the Judge, the Boss to go Escape Rope, Boss the Drapion back into the active. You still have Lost City in play. Knock it out, draw the extra cards. Because judging them probably isn't great here. Because they got like 2 random cards as opposed to the Judge will give them 4 random cards. There's the Judge, but we're still short a modifier here. We're out of Genesect uses. See, I don't love that sequence there from John. Also, I don't know if John... Actually, I don't think John... What's been KO'd so far? A Mew, VMAX, and a Mew V. I guess you do want to be able to Psychic Leap still. Do you actually care about Psychic Leaping still at this point? I don't know if you do. With Cameron having one prize card left, how valuable is Psychic Leaping? It's possible John should have sent up one of the Mew Vs instead of a Genesect, because that cuts into your draw potential and draw power on this turn by sacrificing a Genesect as opposed to sacrificing a Mew. So I'm not sure about that either, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not sure about that either. Maybe should have sent up the Mew. We're looking for a modifier. There's the last Genesect. Could also Ultra Ball away the... I think you should just get rid of these two. You have a path left, I believe, is John. The path's not super relevant. Greninja's not in play. And you're lost owning the Drapion. So, yeah, I don't like this either. This is... just play some cards, John. Just play the Ultra Ball. Boss is, like, good. But you have Palpad left as John. And I believe there's, like, 2 other boss left in the deck still. John is, like, putting everything on, like, maximum RNG. I don't know, like minimizing the odds to hit anything every single turn. John is like always like, you know what? I'm gonna get off this one card. And I hope no punish. Double Forest Seal Stone, so that guarantees it. But it'd be nice to not use your Forest Seal Stone this turn, right? Like, yeah. I don't like that from John at all. I think John definitely should have just Ultra Ball those 2 cards away. You want, like, the boss is a powerful option next turn, but you still have a boss left in the deck, and you have Palpad left in the deck, so it's not like you're out of bosses for future turns. But getting this KO this turn right now is literally the game without locking yourself out of options next turn, so I don't really like this. I do not like that sequence there at all from John. Not a big fan. Finally KOs the Drapion, though. And then we go back over to Cameron. Cameron's got to somehow come up with 1 prize card, but there's no easy prize cards on the board here. So Cameron probably wants to start punching with Sableye, maybe set up second Sableye. I believe Cameron does play 2 Sableye. So if Cameron just finds second Sableye here, you could just Sableye the Genesect off the bench twice, and that could be your win con. Sort of escape rope. I'm not sure what Cameron kept there. Kept the Greninja. Probably makes sense. Thinking about not benching it. I don't know why that would ever make a difference, though. You probably always want it on the bench here. Doesn't have a way to move into the active and use Greninja, though. Interesting. Yeah, definitely possible for the comeback here from John, actually. So here comes the Sableye, but there's nothing in the hand here for Cameron. Cameron's hand is literally dead. I wonder if Cameron... See, if Cameron took the Greninja and then used the Greninja instead of retreating the Comfey, that's one thing. But I guess it's like the same... No, but in this scenario, I think Cameron should have given up the Greninja and taken the escape rope and used another Comfey there, I think. Second Sableye is in discard? Okay, second Sableye is already gone. Wait, is it in discard pile or is it in... It should be in the lost zone. Is that what you mean? Sableye lost zone? Okay. So then Cameron's win condition... I guess taking the Greninja makes a little bit more sense if the other one's in the lost zone, because now you can go 12 on a Genesect and then snipe it with Greninja later. And the switch card is gone from John, so unless John has Silene to get it back, it's kind of cooked. Or you can get Boss plus Cram KO on that Genesect as well. Ultra Ball? He Ultra Balled it? Oh, he does play Ultra Ball. Okay, yeah. So you can recover it with Clara still. Yeah, so I don't know about the taking the Greninja versus using an extra Comfey there, actually. To be honest, that one's like kind of... I'm a little bit unsure about that one. But you have the win with Cram on the Genesect, or you have the win with Greninja KO Genesect. But you have, like, your hand is just not able to do that as Cameron. So I don't love this play from Cameron, because your hand just can't do any of those plays. Your hand sucks. So I almost would like to see the extra Comfey happen to try and dig for a Colress, so actually you can actually set up for real plays on the following turn. So I don't love this play from Cameron of getting the Greninja over just using another Comfey. I almost like using another Comfey a little bit better for sure. I don't think I like this Judge play here from John. Like, Cameron didn't do anything last turn. Yeah, I don't like that Judge play there from John. I would just, like, leave them with their hand. I'd be like, okay, whatever you got is fine with me. See what you got, and then go from there. Because you're giving him +1 card. Like, Cameron did literally nothing last turn. Yeah, Cameron did literally nothing last turn to make you think that you would ever have anything. Now you're giving Cameron +1 card. I don't think you had any information on Cameron's hand last turn that would ever make you think that they had the nuts. Maybe, okay, the only other thing, though, would maybe John has to play the... How did John get that knockout last turn? John might have to play the Judge to see more cards, but I think John could have thinned out that hand with Ultra Ball, drawn cards first, because John does need a double turbo on the bench Mew to attack with the bench Mew, because the active Mew can't attack because they use Technoblast. So John does need another double turbo here to actually attack this. Oh, gives up the Palpad? See, all right, that doesn't make any sense. You could have kept the Palpad. Yeah, I don't like that at all. Is it that bad? I think... Oh, so I first think John should have started with... No, that's fine, right? Yeah, because we... No, wait, did John draw with the... Wait, what the heck happened there? All right, I'm, like, confusing myself on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Horn. Ultra Ball. Doesn't... Oh, no. This is... We have to go back a little bit further. Hold up. me see what happens here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, has the Trek and Choose in hand. Okay, that's fine. Play Trek and Choose. Check. But as soon as this is Palpad here, as soon as you see Palpad there, I feel like you should Ultra Ball away the boss and the Battle VIP pass and then Palpad back the boss, right? Or am I trolling? Now that you drew it like this from John, I guess it's okay because now you Ultra Ball away, but then you have to Ultra Ball away this top deck with the VIP pass and not the boss. Get rid of those two, which is fine to get rid of the Echoing Horde. I don't think you need that. You just need bosses at this point. But you don't know what that next top deck is. So I feel like John should have kept the Palpad and then put the boss in the, like, kept the Palpad, Ultra Ball the boss, like made that the Ultra Ball target for the turn, and then gone from there. Oh, John actually does, and John actually has a switch card left, so you definitely want to find that switch card to heal your benched Genesect. Oh, it actually doesn't matter because it gets, even if you heal it, it gets KO'd by Cram. It doesn't get KO'd by Greninja though, so you do want to heal your benched Genesect because it doesn't get KO'd by Greninja. Then it would only get KO'd by Cram plus boss or Sableye, so it would take away the Greninja option. So you do want to find that switch card this turn as well. You need to find switch card and you need to find double turbo. Okay, found both. Oh wait, 2 switch card left. I thought John burned a switch card. No, I guess not. So this is definitely a mistake here from John to not switch card the Genesect and heal it. I do like the Path to the Peak though. Potential second Drapion. Also stops the Greninja draw power. But definitely a mistake here from John. Like, I don't like the judge from John because I think John could have Ultra Balled in the previous hand before the judge, thinned out the hand, drawn some cards, just try and get a double turbo and attack. Because I don't think Cameron did anything on their last turn that, like, said that Cameron had, like, a boss in hand to win with Cram on the next turn, or had, like, Clara plus switch card or anything like that. So I don't think it makes sense from John here to play it this way, to have played the judge initially without trying to dig for the double turbo first and the switch card, I guess. And then definitely should have played the switch card here, because now Cameron could theoretically win with Greninja. But does just win if they just have boss. And you could have removed the Greninja win condition. Thorin into Sableye, but has... Okay. Thorin into Sableye is pretty cool as well. Wait, could there have been a double... No, you can't switch twice. John couldn't have switch carded the Genesect twice, could they have? I don't think so, no. Right? I don't think so. Yeah, so I think pretty sloppy from John there. On Cameron's side, if he found rope, I think both ropes are gone. But yeah, if he did find rope, double Sableye probably doesn't really matter. On Cameron's side, the only question is, and like I just don't have experience with Lost Tina up against Mew, like currently, like how to kind of feel it out. The only question for Cameron was, should Cameron have waited until they could have benched a Tina? Should they have waited one more turn before attacking with Drapion? Is the only question from Cameron. Of course, if John Judge paths you on the next turn, the chance that you get a Stadium plus the Drapion again isn't like super high. So maybe just going for it when Cameron did is correct. But I will say this, because I know someone in chat is thinking it. Just because it worked out for Cameron doesn't mean it was correct. All right, Battle VIP pass from John. Yeah, if you found... I don't think there was another rope. But yeah, double healing the... Well, no, but if you rope, then you're not KOing the active Sableye, which I think you do want to prioritize, right? I think you want to KO that Sableye. So the rope would only work as if you also bossed for turn. I've grinded this matchup with my friend/teammate for hours. Have you actually, Soda? Wait, the answer is yes to what? I actually wouldn't be surprised if you actually grinded this matchup, to be honest. But I can't tell when you're just trolling or you're actually being serious, so. Yes, they should wait with Drapion. Okay, yeah. That's what I figured as well. So pretty good start here from John again. I don't like this though. Why are we just like... Why is John not trying to see more cards? Hang on, let me rewind this real fast. You want... Okay, so even if John feels like almost like 100% of the time I get to do what I want next turn, or I get to at least attack next turn, that's cool, but we want to maximize our options and maximize our outs to actually pull off attacks. So John starts with the Battle VIP pass. That's chill. That's cool. Is this going at 1.5 times speed? It is, okay. That's cool, right? That's cool for John, but you also want to like actually like increase your odds of doing that, or increase your odds of having more options. So the Trek and Choose comes down here from John. Trek and Choose, boom. What do we see? I can't see, so I don't know what it is. We haven't used either Genesect yet. Let me see what this is before I like make a judgment call on that. The Choice Ball. Oh, Choice Ball is really good to grab. Double Turbo goes here. All right, stop. But okay, this is actually makes zero sense. So one reason to not play the Force Seal Stone is you're scared of Vacuum. That's okay. I guess that's reasonable. So I don't think it would be Vacuum. If Tina plays a Vacuum, they play like what? Maybe one. But just seeing more cards is, I feel like it's just so important here from John. So I would like to see the Choice Belt attached to the Mew that doesn't have the double turbo. Because you get put in a situation where you attack with a Mew VMAX, you might not want it to have the Choice Belt on it. You might want to save the Choice Belt as a follow-up to the Drapion, or you don't want the Choice Belt to go back to the deck when you Psychic Leap, because you want to have the Choice Belt in play to potentially take advantage of like Gust KOing a Giratina. So you want the Choice Belt always kind of in play. So Choice Belt should go onto the bench Mew V, I feel like, and then Force Seal Stone should go onto the Genesect here, and then you should just draw with Genesect. Like, you just want to see more. You want to do more. You want more options. Like, this makes no sense. So you should Choice Belt to this Mew over here, not the one with the double turbo. Because then you kind of you're all in on that Mew, and then if Cameron has like a really bad hand but has like Drapion Gust KO the Mew, you kind of like lost everything. So Choice Belt to this bench, the Mew down here, and then Force Seal Stone to the Genesect here, and then draw 2 cards. And then if you have more cards to play, then draw more cards. And then if you get another Genesect, draw more cards. And now your chance of like attacking next turn or doing whatever you want next turn is so much higher because you just like saw so many more cards, played so many more cards. Yeah, I don't like the. Just do more. Just play more, do more. Watch him talk top deck battle VIP pass next time. That'd be nice. Not gonna lie, that'd be good old punish. He loves to see it. Battle VIP pass also started here for Cameron. So Cameron, like I said, you just want Comfies and Greninja to start with, and then you want to know when to go into something else. Am I doing coaching only through Medify? Yes. Nest Ball as well. Gonna probably go grab the Greninja here. You want it online to be able to use it as draw power, and then you accept the other Comfies kind of around the Greninja. And also as Cameron here, you probably want to be able to punch with Cram this turn if possible. Just put some damage in play, put some pressure on, give yourself more win condition options. Like the go-to win condition in this matchup for Cameron might be Drapion plus Tina, but it doesn't mean you can't open up more win conditions by playing the matchup a little bit differently. So the question here, I think, for Cameron is just has one way to move the active in hand is just the energy. Also does have the Drapion. So thinking about retreating to Comfy versus using Greninja. I kind of like retreating to Comfy a little bit better because I think establishing your lost zone is a little bit more important than just seeing the 2 cards. And that's it. Pass from Cameron over to John. So this is where John, once again, we want to see some Psychic Leaping happen from John. Has the Force Seal Stone. Has the Choice Belt. Should go to the other Mew, though, I think. I don't think you want it on that Mew because you want to Psychic Leap this Mew back to the deck. Does put it on that Mew. So you want to also potentially be able to go like boss up a Comfy. Okay, the Comfy is just fed to you here. So this is perfect for John to just Psychic Leap this Mew. Or Psychic Leap this Comfy. Can't currently do it. And actually the hand is not that good. But like we could have been so much deeper into the deck and seen so many more cards here as John if John had just played the game more last turn. Here's an Ultra Ball though. Can go get another Genesect, draw some more. And the Choice Ball on the active is pretty bad because now you can't put the gloves on the active. So you have to use a tablet to Psychic Leap back to the deck. And hopefully John picks up on that this time around and actually realizes, oh, I should be Psychic Leaping back to the deck here. Because Cameron's hand has Stadium. Cameron's hand literally has Stadium plus Drapion. So, yeah, pretty good follow-up here potentially from Cameron. And then if Cameron can find the Tina V. But I don't know. Even if you find the Tina V here as Cameron, you haven't established a very good board state either, though. So it would still be a little bit risky, I feel like. Also from John, Psychic Leaping into kind of a blind judge isn't great either, I don't think. I think we would want to see the... We don't have an fully established board state here from John either, so I think we'd want to see the Cram get used there from John to potentially put another Mew V in play to work with. I don't love that from John. And once again, I'm curious to see if John actually goes for the Psychic Leap back to the deck or not. On this judge, I don't think you have to. Like this time around, I don't think you have to Psychic Leap here as John. But if you're not going to Psychic Leap here as John, then I would have liked to see the Cram happen first on that switch card. And if you get heads, you get another Mew VMAX on this Mew V, and then you can copy Max Miracle, and then you get to save the Power Tablet. And then you still want to try and find another Mew V right here, but yeah, not Psychic Leaping here I think is fine. You got the path, you got the judge. If John doesn't Psychic Leap here, I don't think it's the end of the world. I think it's like fine. I also wouldn't play this Cram yet here from John because I don't think you know what you want here. Like if you get heads here, I think he's gonna get a Vacuum, but what if you top decked Vacuum? Now you could Cram for literally anything else. This makes no sense for John to play the Cram right now. Also, you're up against a deck where you know you're not going to get hand disrupted, so just do this next turn. Because if you top deck Vacuum and then still get heads on Cram, you get +1 of anything instead of getting the 1 of anything that you could have top decked. So that makes no sense for John to sequence it that way. And there's the Mew VMAX. Once again, we kind of wasted a tablet there. Not the end of the world, I don't think. The choice belt being on the active could be the end of the world. Wasting a tablet plus losing this choice belt off this active, that could actually be pretty bad, to be honest. All right, comfy up. There's a gold in the hand here now for Cameron. Also has a nest ball. Doesn't have a stadium yet, though. So I don't think we're going to see... If I had to guess, I don't think we're going to see the Drapion play this turn. But if this is one of the things, like I was saying, like, in game one... Cameron, like, theoretically, I don't know how Cameron was thinking about going into game one, but the Cameron can be like, how well does John know this matchup? And kind of put him to the test and be like, all right, John, I'm giving you a board state where you can just, like, literally psychic leap me and make it so I don't have to work very hard, or I have to work really hard if you do the psychic leap route. Let's see what you do. And then we saw that John did not take that approach and went with the full-on approach of just Mew VMAXs in the active. And then Cameron can be like, okay, I see how you're playing this. Now going into game two, you seem to be doing the same thing. If I just play the same and you don't actually see how you can take advantage of this scenario because I'm not setting up my Tinas, then I can sit here and comfy for theoretically like 3 turns in a row. And then when John goes down to 3 prize cards, you can just be like, okay, Drapion, Tina, retreat, knockout, load up some energy on my bench, Tina, load up some energy on the Drapion with the gates even. So you have to KO the Tina now. You can't ignore it. And then your deck is like super thinned out and you're like guaranteed to hit everything you need. And then John just can't win. So it's like another thing you can do is like be like, okay, how good is my opponent? How well does my opponent know this matchup? Sometimes when you approach a certain matchup, and you can be like, you can play in a way where you don't just lose because if they do know the matchup well, you wouldn't just lose. But you definitely get to feel it out and be like, how like, because like if your opponent is pretty bad at the matchup, you can play in a way that increases your odds of winning the matchup. You could play differently than how you would normally play, and like delay a turn on your Drapion attack and stuff like that. So I don't know if Cameron had that thought process going into game one, but definitely could have been like, because like it is definitely a matchup where I feel like it is pretty specific of how to like tackle it. We see there is a nest ball here from Cameron, but I don't think you really want to bench a Tina here as Cameron still. I think you just want to probably retreat to cram and punch. Retreat to cram and punch, conserve your comfies. Or actually, no, I like the escape rope now. Actually, I actually think this is actually better from Cameron. Because you don't actually want to... I would attach to a comfy, though. I think Cameron should preemptively attach to a comfy right now to be able to have it ready to retreat next turn. But I do like this because you're more so not wanting to lose a comfy or a Greninja than wanting to attack with Cram. You don't care if this Cram attacks or doesn't attack, to be honest. But if you do attack, you don't want to have to use the escape rope next turn to like dig deeper with comfy. So using the escape rope now, but then attaching to one of the comfies, I think was a mistake. It was a mistake from Cameron to not attach to a comfy here to have that set up. Especially if you do get judged, then you want like a comfy in play ready to be able to move. We'll see what John does here. Once again, Psychic Leap should be on the menu here from John. This one's actually a little bit interesting, though. Because the stadium was in play, do you really want to bump your own path? Could be a question here from John. So John could have just gone Retreat Max Miracle. I wouldn't have hated that. That would have been an interesting place. But I think Psychic Leap, once again, you don't want to leave a Mew VMAX in your active. I don't know if John's going to pick up on that. You do need double tablet here from John to make that work, though. And that's a little bit, might be a little bit to ask for. We'll see. Another Force Seal Stone. Has the Echoing Horn. Could Ultra Ball away the Echoing Horn and the Mew VMAX, maybe. Because that was one Genesect left to work with. Does want that second tablet for Psychic Leap, I feel like. And they actually just went for that. Wait, do they not have another double turbo on the bench? They're protecting their bench Mew by attacking with the active Mew. Is that what's happening here? I think that is what's happening here. Okay, so they're just going to max Miracle here, which is interesting. They still have one Genesect left to use. Here comes Ultra Ball. They're going to get rid of a Mew VMAX and something. Yeah, the Echoing Horn, I don't know how valuable it is here, to be honest, from John. I don't know how valuable it is to keep that Echoing Horn. Could have maybe got rid of that instead of the Pal Pad. The Echoing Horn seems okay. Yeah, it seems okay. John still can get the Psychic Leap off with the active, but see, I don't like that sequence from John. Like, if John does draw a tablet here and then uses the tablet and then Psychic Leaps, then John, like, missequenced here. If, like, John is planning to Psychic Leap here this whole time and go back to the deck, he was done before using Last Genesect. Yeah, that was like a missequence there for sure. There's a boss from John. Okay, so I do like this from John. I like John is going after the comfies instead of KOing the Cram, because John knows the Cram's not really relevant. And then John is going to Psychic Leap back to the deck. But then, yeah, using the... If John, like, wasn't going to... okay, thank you. I thought John was going to push the Mew VMAX, bro. Uh, yeah, so that sequence there once again made no sense from John. There's no reason you force Seal Stone first. You want to go Ultra Ball first, then draw with Chance Effect, then force Seal Stone depending on what you drew after that. I thought John was about to push the Mew VMAX. Okay, see, and this is why. So now John is playing the matchup appropriately. Now John's playing it well, and now on camera it's like, shoot, okay, well, they did the right thing this time. Now what do I do? You have no Tina established, so you can't respond to the Mew V. So like this turn from Cameron, I feel like you have. Oh, what do you even do? That's tough. This turn from Cameron. Yikes! I don't know. I don't know what you do here this turn from Cameron, to be honest. You could maybe just swing with Cram again and hope they can't Psychic Leap again. That could be the play here from Cameron. It's just swing with Cram again, hope they don't Psychic Leap. You could bench a Tina. You could go... Okay, so another play you could do here as Cameron is you could go bench Tina, take the knockout with Drapion, and then next turn go Roxanne plus KO the Mew VMAX with Tina, and then just need one prize card on the final turn. But if John has the back-to-back knockouts, you do just lose, so... That wouldn't be great, but... Maybe if you can get boss KO on the Mew VMAX with Drapion this turn, actually, I think Cameron can do that. Because the path was bumped from John. Oh, John didn't put the path back in play. John had a path to put back in play, actually, and didn't. That's definitely a misplay from John. John had a path in hand to put back in play. How big of a misplay is that? Do you want to do that when you're leaving a Mew VMAX in the active, or do you want to do that? But Cameron did have a pretty big hand. I think Cameron does have boss plus bench Tina here. Has Drapion, boss plus bench Tina. This is going to get actually pretty bad for John. Yeah, with how big the hand was there for Cameron, I think John probably should have put that path back in play on that turn, because now you're getting punished big time here. It definitely makes sense. There's the Drapion, has the boss, but is maybe going to go the Tina route instead. But could go boss, get the Tina out there, attach to the Tina, would be a V-Star and energy short from winning. And with Cameron going with the Ultra Ball first, I think that is what Cameron's going to do. Actually has a Mirage Gate as well. So can Mirage Gate to the Tina as well. Giving up a Psychic and probably a Colress, to be honest. You probably give Psychic Colress here. Definitely unsure about their prize cards here as they're... Ooh, getting rid of the gate? Nah, get rid of the Colress. You want to play the gate. As long as there's energy left in the deck. There's the Tina, there's a Grass and a Water. You have Psychic in hand. No, you don't have a Psychic. Oh no, did Cameron mess up? Uh-oh. If there's not a Psychic hitting the Tina this turn, that's definitely a big mistake here from Cameron. Let's see. Oh no, there's the Grass. There's the Switch card. You definitely play the Mirage Gate this turn. It thins out 3 cards from your deck. No! How does the Mirage Gate not get played, bro? There's no shot! Only 5 in the Lost Zone? Oh, is there really only 5 in the Lost Zone? Okay, I'm trolling then, Wait, then. If there's only 5 in the Lost Zone, then Cameron 100% should keep the Psychic Energy and get rid of the gate, right? Oh, there's only 5 in the Lost Zone. Wait, is there really only 5 in the Lost Zone? No, there's not. Oh, there is. I saw it up there now. All right, never mind. My bad. I was like, how is there only 5 in the Lost Zone? So no dig for the Roxanne here from John. Yeah, top left. I see it now. I was like, I just thought there would be no way. But yeah, Cameron's only played 1 Colress. Has Cameron actually even played a Colress? Cameron must have played a Colress. Yeah, there had to have been a Colress played. Okay. So we'll see if John can draw the out here. That's a pretty good hand there from John. So I think it's definitely possible. Mew, Trekking Shoes. Could go with the Cram. I think I like the Trekking Shoes better. That seemed a little bit better in my head. All right, I mean, that worked out. Found the Battle VIP Pass. Got a heads. So now you go search the Mew VMAX or a modifier, whichever one makes more sense based on how many you have left of each. I can't see how much is in the deck, so I'm just going to assume John is correct on this take here. Could have also, the other thing that John could have done, actually, instead of taking Mew VMAX, you could have actually taken an Ultra Ball and then drawn 1 less card on the initial draw, but your follow-up draw was theoretically draw more. So that would have been like another play that John could have done there. I'm not too sure on that one, to be honest. Yeah, I'm actually not too sure on that one. Has the combo, though. Does need Path to the Peak here still, though, because you don't want to lose to Clara or Thornton. So you do want a Path here as John. I would play the Cram here right now. Get a little bit further into the deck, at least with the Genesex. I don't know if John's attached for turn yet or not. John should definitely attach that energy to the Mew if they haven't. Yeah, 1 more card. Has an Ultra Ball, but every card in the hand is good here, to be honest. I would not play the Ultra Ball here. No, you need to play the Path. Do not play that Ultra Ball. Attach the energy to the Mew, because I don't think you have. They maybe have, and if they have, then you don't. And then Path. All right, cool. I don't think they have, though. I don't think they attached for turn yet. I think John could have attached there. All right, for Cameron, yeah, there's only 5 in the Lost Zone. I was freaking out a little bit on that last turn. I was like, what is happening here? But yeah, you couldn't do it. Has Colress. I don't think has an out to a Drapion. John only has 2 prizes left, but John's hand is not very well equipped, I don't think, to actually KO a 2 prizer off the bench. Yeah, I don't think John's KOing any kind of 2 prize Pokemon off the bench. So Cameron will get +1 turn to kind of make this work. Yeah, I don't think that Tina's going down. We'll see though. There's a Comfy Grab, has a Colress as well. So probably just gonna dig with Colress, set up Tina. Yeah, I don't even think John has enough modifiers left to take the knockout on a Tina V-Star. So it has to be KO through the active plus boss KO on the following turn. We'll see. John does have Horn in hand. That's true. So Cameron does want to try and fill the bench. Yeah, that's true. There is a Horn in hand, so you could bring the Drapion back. What was that other card? I think it was a Stadium. Oh, just literally Stadium Thorin. Let's go. That's ridiculous. That works, yeah. I didn't see the Thorin in the hand. All right. I mean, that works. Will Cameron block Horn? Apparently, it doesn't matter. That's where Cameron wanted the Drapion in the discard pile the whole time. Yeah, so I think John definitely played that pretty poorly. I think John played pretty poorly. I think the only like major thing we saw from Cameron was that in game 1, like, was it correct to go for the Drapion play the turn they did? But yeah, John's sequencing was super off. The overall game plan and understanding of the strategy of the matchup was off. So, not surprised with the overall outcome. Yeah, it doesn't seem like John like fully knew how to like play that matchup. So I'm not surprised that Cameron coming away with the dub here for sure. But all right, Lugia from Trevor versus the Miraidon from Anthony. This matchup, I would definitely favor Lugia, I think, versus the build that Anthony is playing. Anthony is not playing a very aggressive Miraidon build here. It's a little bit slower. It's got the Flaffies, got the Raichu, got the Magnezone. And I feel like that's usually how you come out on top in this matchup. I'm going to pull up both lists real fast. Anthony versus Trevor. And there is the Stonejourner in the build here for Trevor as well, which is like a pretty big deal. All right, so Anthony going first, and looks like heavily prioritizing just the squad. Anthony actually does play a Sky Sealstone. That's interesting. That definitely is like a pretty big deal, I would say, in this matchup for sure. So here we go, Miraidon and a Flaffy, and then the next one gets used, and we're going to see probably Raikou and a Flaffy, maybe? I don't know if you need double... yeah, what do you even... Raikou for second Raikou for sure. Maybe leaves the bench space open. Doesn't really play anything to utilize with the bench space later, though. Like, doesn't play... because you're using the Raikou early here from Anthony. I guess maybe you'd want the potential of an early Raichu. But I don't think that would ever really happen, to be honest. I don't think it would ever happen. It could happen, I guess. I don't think so, though. Yeah, that could happen. All right, Lightning to Raikou. Did they use Fleet-Footed? I wasn't paying attention. I'm just going to assume they did. But there's not the little ability thing. Did we forget the Fleet-Footed? Hopefully not. All right, Tails from Trevor might even be like necessary here because you need to get second Lugia in play. Like I said, Stonejourner is really good in this matchup. It'll be really interesting that, yeah, so Trevor can actually like, or Anthony can actually like get a clean prize trade or a pretty clean prize trade in this matchup because of the Sky Sealstone. So the one thing that the Lugia deck can usually do is they can usually throw you off the prize trade because they can go attack with Stonejourner. So you go like KO2 prizer, KO 1 prizer, they KO you Stonejourner, and then they go, Trevor can go 2 prizer, 2 prizer. But Anthony can go KO 2 prizer, KO Stonejourner, and then Gust KO the second Lugia V-Star that probably has to come out, knock out that Lugia V-Star, and then, ooh, another Capturing Aroma, okay. Heads, so this one's going to be an evolution Pokemon. So it looks like we have the research here, which is pretty good. So you have Chops, Ultra Ball for Chops, research, but then Trevor does have to hit another Lugia V off this, or Double Turbo to retreat the active Lugia V. So, needs to get something here. They did Fleetfoot? Okay. I wasn't paying attention, so I just kind of assumed. Is it possible. Trevor also could have. Wait, couldn't have Trevor have gone? Trevor got tails on the first capturing aroma. Trevor could have grabbed. Actually, no, that doesn't work. It worked in my head, but no, this is fine. This is actually well. Trevor could have guaranteed. Trevor could have used Luminion for Burnett plus Ultra Ball. Yeah, Trevor could have used Luminion for Burnett plus Ultra Ball for... Probably should attach the Gift Energy active here. Well, maybe wants to be able to retreat. I guess that's like the only thing. You have to hit a double turbo here to be able to retreat here from Trevor. We'll see. There's the double turbo. All right, so can retreat. Did not get second Lugia, though. But can attach retreat to Luminion plus bench Stonejourner. And even bench T-Tar is pretty good here. Actually, you probably want to retreat to T-Tar, to be honest. Like, T-Tar plus Stonejourner on the bench here, I think is probably correct. Yeah. I would bench Stonejourner as well, because you can force the... Because now you have 3 2 prizes in play, so theoretically Anthony could go Gust knockout or Escape Rope knockout. I don't know if they know if they do or do not have Escape Rope, but usually Miraidon plays Escape Rope. So we can see Escape Rope knockout, Gust knockout, Gust knockout. So I'd bench Stonejourner here, so if Escape Rope happens, you push the Stonejourner, because Anthony can't really... If they KO Stonejourner, they get 1 prize card, which once again, they can still prize trade into fine. Or they can't even KO T-Tar with Raikou, so... Yeah, so now you're just going to get Escape Roped, and then the Luminion's going to get knocked out here in this situation now as Trevor. So yeah, not a huge fan. And now we see the next basic getting grabbed here, I think, from Anthony. Might not grab a basic, might just be checking the deck, but I think you should probably know if you'd want something here and be able to grab it, because you know... Yeah, I think you should be able to grab something here as Anthony. Because, like, if Trevor doesn't take a knockout next turn, then you win. And if they do take a knockout, then you have your bench space to put anything else you'd ever want in play. So I think grabbing, like, second Raikou here or something. Or maybe I want to bench something from hand, which would also be fine, I guess. There's the Fleet-Footed. Yes, I think like, thinning out the deck by a card would have been correct. And there is the Serena on the Lugia. And then the game's basically over from here, probably, pretty much. It's going to be pretty tough. Yeah, Trevor really needs to try and get to... Trevor really needed to try and get 2 Lugia V in play there. Out of the current hand, it wasn't really possible from Trevor because of... Like, the current hand here, there's only 1 Ultra Ball in there to find Pokemon. So that would make it awkward. One thing Trevor could have done, though, was, like, Ultra Ball for Lugia V, and then use Read the Wind. And then use Read the Wind to try and draw into more outs for the future. This is where I would consider just conceding from Trevor, to be honest. Like, I would just consider conceding here and going to the next game. You can probably play it out. You have plenty of time, so you could play it out a little bit more. Just in case, if the T-Tar doesn't go down next turn, then I guess you still have a chance. Yeah, if the T-Tar doesn't get KO'd next turn, you still have a chance. So I guess you can play it out for a little bit here. You can attach the T-Tar or the Stonejourner on the bench. Pass. But I'm pretty sure in the opening hand from Trevor, I have to go back and see. Yeah, so Trevor opens Lugia, plays Capturing Aroma, and then plays Capturing Aroma. Grabbed Luminion, but could have gotten Luminion, but then Ultra Ball for Lugia V, use Luminion for Burnett, use Burnett, or play Capturing Aroma again, see what that landed on. If it gets tails, you get Lugia V. If it gets heads, you get Lugia V Star, and then you Ultra Ball for Lugia V Star if it gets Lugia V, and then you get Burnett off Luminion, and then Read the Wind with a Gift Energy on the active. I feel like that would have been better in the opening turn. Yeah. I feel like that would have been better in that situation. I hit him with the Squiddy. V-Guard on the Lugia doesn't really do anything. V-Guard on the active does, though, I think. There's a boss in the hand here for Anthony, so this is over, I think. I think Anthony might need a basic Pokemon here, but... So we're looking at, what, 140? Yeah, 100, 140, 280. Yeah, so Lugia dies here, and then the game's over. Then the game's definitely over. There's like the comeback. I mean, it's possible, I guess. It's pretty unlikely though. Yeah, the chance that there's a comeback from that point from Trevor, I don't think is happening. Some Flaffing has a lot of cards in hand. Still can use Fleet-Footed. Lugia. Okay, and there's a concede from Trevor. All right. Skip ahead. Pumpkaboo and a V-Star prize for Trevor. Yeah, there's a couple different ways. There's a couple different things Trevor could have done in that last game. There's a couple different things Trevor could have done. Also, just even just like attaching the gift energy to the active there, even just attaching the gift energy to the active there, and then using Read the Wind after the research, because then you could have committed the Ultra Ball for a second Lugia V. You are hanging a Lugia V in the active. The big question for Trevor really is just how important is it when you go second in the matchup to try and make it so your opponent doesn't get a KO at all, or doesn't get a KO on a 2-prize Pokemon? That's like the big question for Trevor. And if the answer is super, super important, then pushing the T-Tar there I don't hate, and not going for the second Lugia V is not that big of a deal. Because if they get the 2-prize knock, if Trevor gets the knockout, maybe Trevor always wins anyways. I don't know. Or not Trevor, Anthony does. So that's like the big question for Trevor. It's like a matchup I'm not super familiar with, so I don't know how if it's that important. The fact that there is the Sky Seal Stone in the build here for Anthony, though, is a pretty big deal to like have like a pretty aggressive prize trade. Like no matter what, you can kind of win the prize trade. So, but we do have Trevor going first in this one. And the hand is pretty good actually, but there is escape rope in the deck there for Anthony. So Anthony could actually basically do the exact same thing this turn, and escape rope, push the Lugia up and KO it. So Trevor really wanted another basic Pokemon there, but with the current hand, I don't think you can afford it. Because Trevor has Burnett, Ultra Ball for the V-Star next turn. Like you can't, like even if you can't use the Ultra Ball there for another V. If you use Ultra Ball for a V there, you're almost like never getting a turn to attack. Because even if the Burnett wasn't in hand, Ultra Ball for an Archeops and then research away the Archeops is still super good. Or holding the Ultra Ball in case you top deck an Archeops and Ultra Ball away, get another Archeops. So yeah, Trevor, I think playing the hand the way they did is correct. Like punching into the Lugia V there is not winning you the game. So you just have to hope that Anthony does not have the turn 1 KO on your Lugia. Although it's not that unlikely, to be honest. They got 4 Shield Stone, they got 2 Escape Rope, they got the 4 of the generators. I'm not gonna lie, looking at how cleanly this deck sets up Flaffies is kind of sick. I'm not a huge fan of Miraidon. This build versus the other build, I don't know which one's better, to be honest. I don't really have an opinion on it too much. Getting the second Mareep is interesting from Anthony, though, because Anthony does only play 2 Flaffy. So that's an interesting choice there from Anthony to actually set up the second Mareep. Maybe just in case he gets chased after, or it does give you something to push up in like weird situations. Like Trevor could play Escape Rope, I guess. Like Trevor could definitely play Escape Rope. So I don't hate the double Mareep. It's just like you're never going to see, they're not going to both become Flaffies at any point. So did Anthony play Magnezone? Yeah, 2-1 Magnezone for Anthony. Yeah, seeing how cleanly... Okay, here we go. This is big. 3 for 5. The whiff. 0. Trevor's probably feeling pretty happy about that. Yeah, seeing how cleanly this sets up the sheep, that's kind of cool. I kind of dig, like, that's just cool. Now, is that good? That's a different question, but that's definitely cool. Like, no matter what, that's cool. All right, here comes the research. We're looking for Escape Rope energy or generator into 2 energy. That's some energy. I see the 4 Seal Stone. Okay, I think we're safe here, though. I think Trevor is safe. Oh, another reason to get the Mareep there, actually, from Anthony is to run to a sheep this turn, which actually makes a ton of sense. You want to run to sheep this turn as Anthony. Oh, and actually going to get in there for 10 damage. Yo, that damage is actually relevant. Yeah, because how much does Miraidon do? 220? Yo, the Mareep for 10 is genius. Yeah, it definitely makes a ton of sense, actually, there from Anthony to get double sheep there. Because if you whiff, you want to run to a sheep. Definitely. And the 10 damage, broken. Love to see it. Okay, over to Trevor. Here come the chops. Here comes the Ultra Ball. Now, unfortunately for Trevor, this means Trevor can't play boss this turn. I think Trevor should keep one of those researches, to be honest, because it's possible you end up on the favorable side of the price trade from here, I feel like. So I guess you have a gift energy, though, so you're going to be gifting. So maybe it's fine to actually Ultra Ball away both researchers, have the option of the boss and the judges, maybe better. Gift energy active and go from there. I could see it. And also, Trevor can actually play around the Collapse Stadium, or can play around the Sky Seal Stone in this matchup by Collapse Stadium away the Lugia V-Star at some point. So it is possible for Trevor to play around the Sky Seal Stone. Like I was talking about how good it possibly is in this matchup, but you can definitely play around it as well. We will probably just see a Craggalanche here from Trevor here. It also means you maybe don't want to commit too many energy potentially to your Lugia. Design up a gift and a V-Guard. We could attach a gift out of hand though and just get a V-Guard. The V-Guard does keep you... The V-Guard actually does absolutely nothing here, right? Because like it's an EX. Yeah, the V-Guard actually doesn't do anything here. Could search out a double turbo. Actually, yeah, double turbo to search out here. Probably throw on the Lugia to make it a pivot. Because it's like the best spot for your double turbos, probably. It's putting on the Archeops instead, though, which is interesting. I guess that maybe makes sense because you probably assume your Lugia is like a bigger target anyways. I guess it's okay. I almost would like to see a gift on the Archeops. It goes with the gift on the Lugia. I don't know. I like the gift on the Archeops, the double turbo on the. Actually, no, maybe that makes sense because if you get bossed here, yeah, if Anthony goes boss KO on your Lugia, you want to be able to draw cards off that or the T-Tar. Actually, I kind of like that because you're okay if Anthony goes for a 1-prize knockout. So, but then making your Archeops a pivot doesn't feel necessary if you're gonna make your Lugia. If you have Lugia and T-Tar set up like this, making your Archeops a pivot, well, maybe it does because you don't want to like retreat the gift off the Lugia. Okay, actually, no, I think I like the way that Trevor played it out. I think it makes sense. V-Guard on your T-Tar doesn't make any sense though, but I don't know if you'd want to burn another of your other energies anyway. So it doesn't like do anything. You're not getting any value out of it being a V-Guard on the T-Tar, but it's probably better to have the V-Guard on the T-Tar than a double turbo or, well, definitely a double turbo. Well, not definitely a double turbo. Could have done double turbo there on the T-Tar actually. But yeah, putting more single strike energy you probably don't want to do because you're trying to attack with like Stonejourner and maybe more T-Tars throughout the game. So yeah, it makes sense probably to do the V-Guard overall. Like, V-Guard shouldn't make a big difference anywhere else. Like on Lugia, it can make a difference if there's like very few bench Pokemon to play on both sides, but that's probably not going to happen. So for Anthony to get a KO here, you're looking for a lot, to be honest. You gotta get the energy set up on the Miraidon. Actually, that's interesting. Shouldn't Anthony have sent up the Raikou? I guess the reason you wouldn't send up Raikou is so you have the option because you don't get the fleet-footed now. You could. I guess it depends on if the second Raikou's prized or not. Because you could have put second Raikou on the bench. That's actually an interesting choice there from Anthony. I guess you don't maybe want too many Raikous in play. Oh, we're just going for the Gust on the Lugia immediately here. This means you won't have the Sky... This is actually like... There's no Sky Seal Stone option later now, though, for Anthony. So now, Trevor can go into the Stonejourner and basically just checkmates the game by attacking with Stonejourner, I feel like. Wait, no, not quite. Well, no, maybe. Yeah, I feel like Stonejourner might be a checkmate. Or not quite, but like pretty close to. Let's see. So Trevor can now go... It's pretty close. Yeah, I wouldn't have sent up the T-Tar here, though. I would have sent up the Lugia and then attacked with Stonejourner, I think. Yeah, but Stonejourner is pretty good here. Stonejourner almost like checkmates the game. Not quite, but pretty close. I think I would have attacked with Stonejourner here, though, as Trevor, before the T-Tar. Because you don't know if, like, Anthony plays something like Echoing Horn. So if Anthony plays something like Echoing Horn, then Anthony could go KO T-Tar into... Oh, when did Anthony V-Star power, actually? I didn't even see that. When did the 4 Sealstone come down and get used? Or I'm tripping. I didn't realize that at all. Yeah, I think attacking with Stonejourner here makes a little bit more sense first, because if Anthony does play Echoing Horn, next turn Anthony can go knock out the active for Flaffy. Oh, okay. I thought it was an Ultra Ball for the Flaffy. Yeah, so now Anthony could go knock out active Echoing Horn, boss KO, a Lugia or a T-Tar again out of the discard pile. So I think you should force Stonejourner as often as possible, because then Anthony would need back-to-back Gust effects. So I'm not a huge fan of the T-Tar first. I think I would like to have seen the Stonejourner first. There's discard 4. Pretty good 4 to discard. Those are kind of all useless cards. The Ultra Ball could have been okay, I guess. I mean, any of those could have been good to find Luminion, I guess, the Aromas or the Ultra Ball, but yeah. Also, it means you don't mill 4 cards. Like, instead of milling 4 cards first, you don't. And also, you're not in a situation where you probably need... Another thing here with this, actually, is I don't think Trevor really needs Gift Energy to pop this turn. But if Anthony takes a knockout on the active, then Gift Energy pops. But I don't think Anthony or Trevor needs Gift Energy this turn, but you might need it on the following turn. I guess actually the Single Strike Urshifu is a pretty good follow-up here as well. So actually discarding the Single Strike Urshifu is not that great. Also, so another thing that happens here, like because of the Echoing Horn possibility, or like Hand Disruption with Judge or Roxanne, or there's another one. You don't need the Gift Energy to pop, Judge, Roxanne, or Echoing Horn. So now on Trevor's next turn... Trevor can't bench another 2-prize Pokemon and start setting it up. Because then if Anthony goes... Let's just say Anthony gets KO on the active and then goes down to 2. And then Trevor's like, okay, respond with Stonejourner. I have no 2 prizes in play. You theoretically can't win. But now Trevor can't bench a new 2-prize Pokemon and start to build it up this turn. Also, the triple Single Strike energy here is interesting. I think you'd maybe want to save one of those in the deck. You could theoretically establish it on another Pokemon the next turn. But you didn't attack with the Stonejourner this turn anyway, so it's like fine. Also, yeah, you don't need the gift to pop. Now, Trevor can't bench another 2-prize Pokemon to kind of be ahead of the Hand Disruption because... So Anthony goes knock out T-Tar. If Trevor benches the 2-prize Pokemon, Anthony could go Gust KO the 2-prize Pokemon, right? And just win the game. So now Trevor can't do that. And now if Trevor doesn't bench a 2-prize Pokemon this turn, now all of a sudden Anthony can go Judge or Roxanne possibly, and then Trevor might whiff the follow-up attacker and lose the game because of that. So, yeah, attacking with Stonejourner here I think is like always... like infinitely better to attack with Stonejourner. You don't mill yourself, so you possibly don't mill all your outs to more attackers. You don't need the gift energy to pop this turn, but you might want it to pop next turn because you have back-to-back attackers set up, so you don't need it this turn, you might need it next turn. And now, if Anthony doesn't have the Gust KO on T-Tar, or if they don't even think that's worth it and would rather KO the Stonejourner, now on the next turn, if they do KO the Stonejourner, Trevor could push up T-Tar and then also bench a new 2-prize Pokemon, play the urn, load it up, and then you just have back-to-back attackers set up and you have them checkmated on the board. So, yeah, I don't think... Yeah, it's a pretty bad sequence there from Trevor, I think. Stonejourner should always be the attacker. Yeah, Stonejourner should always be the attacker there. All right. Let's see if Anthony can actually even get the KO here, though. Let's see if Anthony can even get there. There's a Raikou. Raiku's obviously not getting the KO. Gonna have to go with... Needs at least one generator, and he needs to hit at least one energy off the generator. Doesn't play Raihan or anything like that. Here's the generator. Here we go. Can Anthony do it? Double. Okay, that's pretty big. That can get him one energy attachment ahead for the next turn. So definitely has a knockout on the active. Has the attachment for turn and can accelerate Flaffy to the other Miraidon. This is definitely winnable here, I feel like, for Anthony. For all the reasons that I've said up to this point. EXP share to the active, dope. Attach to the active or retreat and then attach to the bench Miraidon. So you're only an energy attachment away from knocking out like another 2-prizer or just knocking out something in general. Gift draw from Trevor. So yeah, now Trevor can't bench a 2-prize Pokemon. Well, you could, but you probably don't want to. Also, the Urn doesn't actually trigger for 2 single strike energy, which means you can't use T-Tar to actually get a knockout in the next turn. So you can only earn for 1 single strike energy. This third single strike energy here is super weird from Trevor. If you did this sequence as well, because if this was in the deck and there was a different energy here, or just no energy here, for like there was a gift, there was a V-Guard, there was a ton of different energies you could have put on the Stonejourner actually. There's 2 V-Guards in there, I think. You don't need the triple single strike energy here. This was really weird. Because then you could have 2 single strike energy in the deck right now. So then all Trevor needs next turn is bench T-Tar, load it up, you win. But now Trevor actually has to find another... Ooh, okay, actually, Trevor can actually win with Gust of KO on Flaffy. I actually didn't see that. I missed that, actually. Trevor might need to find another. I missed the Gust KO on the Flaffy, to be honest. I'm not going to lie. So Trevor probably has this one locked up. Yeah, but you lose the win condition of just not attacking through the active. But it is probably over here. I actually missed the whiff condition on the KO on the Flaffy. So it is probably just over. Yeah, Anthony's only out is... We have to knock it active and hope they don't have boss. You don't have a judge in hand for Anthony. Yeah, I missed the Gust on the Flaffer there. That is fair. But Trevor did limit their... Everything I actually still set up to this point is still valid. It's just... you just reduced your win conditions as Trevor. Everything I've still set up to this point is still valid. It's the chance of it actually affecting the game is just way less because there's a freaking Flaffy on the bench. Yeah, it's just way less relevant because there's a Flaffy on the bench. But it still increases your win conditions. Yeah, there's a swing, knockout, and then, yeah, Trevor goes knockout. Gust, Lumineon for Gust, or even has the boss in hand. Yeah, checks for Lumineon real fast. Checks to make sure there's a boss left in the deck, and then going to send up, top deck, and then Lumineon for boss. Okay, and had the gift energy on the Stonejourner as well, so... Had the gift energy on the Stonejourner as well, so even if Anthony had Judge there, you're still drawing... You're seeing at least 8 cards going into your turn to get the knockout. All right, game 3, we will have Anthony going first once again. We definitely need to see... actually, hold up. Does Anthony choose to go first? Ooh, double generator prize is not good. All right, here we go. I assume Anthony chooses to go first, but by the what the image made it look like is maybe not. Okay, not a super aggressive start here from Anthony. Just write you for an energy, the fast charge. Uh-oh, no Miraidon turn 1 feels so bad with Miraidon because I feel like that's the coolest part about Miraidon. I feel like the one thing the deck does really well, or like the one cool thing the deck does for sure is just like when you go turn 1 Miraidon for a basic Pokemon and a Miraidon, and then use the second Miraidon to get 2 basic Pokemon. Like that's insane. It just feels so good. Not being able to do that turn 1 feels so sad. Okay, over to Trevor. The hand is not great, but a Tails here would equal a Lumineon. I don't know if it was a heads or a tails, though. It is a Tails, so we do get the Lumineon here, so we are kind of cooking. And we can get down double... Trevor can get down double Lugia V as well. The hand is kind of awkward there past that for Trevor, though. Still can KO Lugia. Yeah, Lugia can still be KO'd. That's the most important part. Yeah, the hand is... It's a research. There's just Archeops in the hand. It's not that bad, actually. It's just, you just research. You go double Lugia, attach a gift to one of the Lugia. Double Lugia, attach a gift to one of the Lugia. Anthony still could win the prize trade just kind of based on the board. Like, just go 2 prizer, 2 prizer, 2 prizer. But with how slow of a start Anthony had, it doesn't feel great. That's for sure. Lugia. Attached to a Lugia, player research. There could be an argument to attach to the T-Tar, I guess, but I think it always makes more sense on the Lugia, probably. And there's the research. Ultra Ball in the hand as well. That's pretty good. I think I would play it here. I don't think Trevor has seen a hand disruption card from Anthony yet, but Anthony does play 2 Judge. I think it's still fair for Trevor to assume that there could be a possibility of a hand disruption card in the hand. Yeah, just get the Stone Journer. But just don't bench it. Because if you bench Stone Journer here as Trevor, things could get a little bit weird. Where if like Anthony passes, then all of a sudden you only get out 1 Archeops or something like that. So grab the Stone Journer, but just don't bench the Stone Journer as Trevor. And then just pass from there. But yeah, Trevor's in a pretty good spot now. Trevor's in a pretty good spot. Like Anthony, like I said though, Anthony can still win the prize trade on board. Like it's still possible. And yeah, pass. I don't know about, I guess like maybe discarding another Lugia V-Star is incorrect there from Trevor. I could see that being incorrect to discard a Lugia V-Star. But it's probably fine. Yeah, it could be incorrect there from Trevor to discard Lugia V-Star because maybe theoretically you want... Like, maybe theoretically as Trevor you want... Like, if you get judged, you want to increase your odds of drawing into Lugia V-Star. But I guess the trade-off would be discarding a research. I don't know. Yeah, because you want to keep... Oh, it could be discarding a judge. Thinking about setting up the Lugia with the gift. I do like giving up a Lugia here as Trevor because you have seen the Sky Seal Stone. Like, Trevor has seen the Sky Seal Stone from Anthony. It doesn't really matter, actually. You don't have to evolve both Lugias. You could just evolve one of them. It just depends on how bad you want to draw off the gift now versus potentially saving it for later to draw off the gift later. I feel like drawing off the gift now doesn't do a whole ton for Trevor, but it's probably fine. Okay, here comes Serena. I guess the only thing to debate here is do you keep the Flaffy? And you kind of do want to keep the Flaffy here, to be honest. That's how you chain attackers from this point on. So, yeah, I think you do want to keep the Flaffy here as Anthony. And then you're just hoping to get a Miraidon out. If you get a Miraidon out, I think you're okay here as Anthony. There's the Nest Ball, so we're chilling. Which is like one of the reasons, like you with the deck, it's like you kind of want to play 4 Nest Ball in Miraidon because you don't want to whiff turn 1 Miraidon, but you don't want to play 4 Nest Ball in Miraidon because you don't want to play 4 Nest Ball in Miraidon because you only need like 1 to get going, and then you're just like kind of fine from there. Would Urshi VMAX be all right in this matchup because it hits for weakness and can't be KO'd? It's a good question. Well, no, it can be OKO'd. It can be KO'd by the Raichu. Yeah, based on the energy count on board, I think what you could do, quality, is you could bench the Urshifu V in this matchup and then just wait and maybe make it a VMAX. Yeah, so you'd do that and then you'd wait. And you'd be like, okay, I'm going to put it in play and then we'll see if it's any good or not. So this attack this turn from Trevor, I think you want to, once again, you want to force... So from Trevor here, you want to attack with Stone Journer. You don't actually want to attack with the 2 prize attacker. Well, actually, he's attacking with T-Tar fine. Attacking with T-Tar might be fine, to be honest, because the chance that the Raichu knocks it out... Like, you're getting rid of a Raichu and there's not that much energy in play for a Raichu to abuse. But I still think attacking with Stone Journer as soon as possible is going to be correct because that forces your opponent to have gust effects to chase 2 prizers. So I think attacking with Stone Journer here is maybe correct. If you could do it, you'd have to send up Luminion so you could retreat it. Would be the thing, but... You do kind of want to force that on your opponent as soon as you possibly can. We'll probably see the judge here, I think, from Trevor. And once again, attacking with T-Tar aggressively this early means you're milling cards, which is just not great. I think we'll probably see Trevor we might see Trevor put a V-Guard on the T-Tar. You don't know for sure that Anthony doesn't play Choice Belt for the Raikou. Like, your bench is full here as Trevor. Your bench is full here as Trevor. So you possibly want a V-Guard there just in case. Like, you probably go for the V-Guard here just in case you actually run into that situation. And you probably want the gift as well. So yeah, going to the T-Tar here, going to the T-Tar here is fine, I guess. I think Stone Journer is a little bit... going to T-Tar is fine. I think going with the Stone Journer is safer, though, just because... Like, Anthony could just have second... You don't know if Anthony has second Raichu, but, like, they could have second Raichu. Or they could have Choice Belt on... They could have Choice Belt for the Miraidon. But if you go Stone Journer here, the chance that you lose is just less. Like, so I think Stone Journer is just correct here from Trevor. So they probably should have pushed up Luminion and then tried to get into the Stone Journer knockout. See, I don't love that choice from Trevor to not try and get the Stone Journer in the active. It was the same thing that we saw last game too, where it was like correct to probably just use Stone Journer as soon as possible. V-Guard energy coming down. I don't mind attaching it somewhere this turn. Probably to the Stone Journer makes the most sense. Don't give him Mezagoza. And then, yeah, you also mill 4 cards. Like, if these are really bad 4, single strike energy is not great, but the rest are, like, kind of fine. Okay, Raikou send up here from Anthony, gets the fleet-footed to work with, and needs to get a knockout this turn. Anthony has to get the KO with Anthony needs a lot here. It is possible, though. Anthony could go for a Gust knockout as well. Here we see the Ultra Ball coming down. I assume he's going to go get a Flaffy. Gives up the Arven, which could find 4 Sealstone plus a Generator. But I think, actually, we're going to see Anthony go for the Gust KO on the Lugia this turn, because it has the energy, and then wants to just start loading up energy on Miraidon to go for the win on the next turn. This deck is, like, super cool from Anthony, the way it plays out in these matchups. It really is just like in this matchup, it really is just like chase 2 prizer, chase 2 prizer, chase 2 prizer, like over and over and over again. Like, that literally is just the game plan. So yeah, is chasing now. It's just going to go chase, KO. I mean, you might as well take out the Lugia here, I feel like. Taking out the Lugia here is correct. And then next turn, you try and go chase, KO the Luminian, right? So you go chase Lugia, chase Luminian. Okay, Lugia's gone. Goodbye, Lugia. So now for Trevor, on Trevor's turn, Trevor does play Collapse Stadium. Let's see how many it is. It is 2 Collapse Stadium. So Trevor this turn is looking to Collapse Stadium away the Luminian. That's Trevor's game plan. Okay, well, we got a Nest Ball, so that's a good start. So you can Nest Ball. We also got the Urn to recover that single strike energy that just got discarded. So here we go. Go get Serena, put it on the bench. Hope to find Collapse to remove the Luminian, and then hope that Anthony does not have second Raichu KO on your T-Tar. And then you should be in a pretty good spot. I actually think Trevor probably shouldn't play the Urn here. Yeah, Trevor shouldn't play the Urn here. And then there's, you shouldn't put Mezagoza in play. Well, you don't want to put Mezagoza in play because you want to get the Collapse Stadium. Yeah, don't play the Urn here. You have 2 attackers set up that win you the game. You don't want to, if you earn into a single strike energy and then draw into it, then that's not good. And you should, like, fully thin out the deck as much as possible here. So I would grab the 2 energy. I like that. Throw them on a Chops. Doesn't really matter where you throw them. Just need to get 2 energy out of the deck. And then you have to draw into Collapse Stadium here as Trevor. Ultra Ball coming down as well. And like I said, don't play the Urn. Don't play the Urn here as Trevor. Because otherwise that's +1 bad card in the deck. How important is the Sojourner? Reagan was a finalist without it. It's good for this matchup. Other matchups is, like, less important though, for sure. All right, and does Trevor find the Collapsed? Let's see. Anthony, I believe, doesn't have the win yet in hand, but it's pretty close. And no Collapse. That's pretty unfortunate. Trevor's seen, like, a lot of their deck, and yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. 2 left in the deck, I believe, and has seen a ton of their deck, so that feels a little bit bad there for Trevor, but what can you do? Tails here can go search out a basic Pokemon. Maybe one of the Collapse was discarded earlier or Prize as well. I don't know if both are in there. I see 1. There might not have been both, though. It doesn't really matter. Trevor still wants to thin out the deck because you still want to make sure you can gust around a potential Flaffy send up pass. Because it's possible Anthony goes send up Flaffy pass next turn. So you have to play around that. Had a Collapse Prize. Okay, there was a Collapse Prize. Okay. Oh, and it is in, like, the last 2, yeah. All right, over to Anthony. Does not have game for sure, but is just an... Oh, has Switch card. No, does have game for sure. Yeah. Almost sent up the wrong Pokemon there. It does have game for sure. And then we see, yep. And then Switch card and knockout. Okay. Dub for Anthony with the Miraidon. Yeah, I don't know those. I guess, like, there was also, like, an argument, I think, based on Trevor's board that game. And we can go back and look real fast at the beginning. I'm just curious, at the beginning of this game, how did this go? So we opened the T-Tar. We had a Lugia in hand, though. We go Luminian. No, so there's always going to be Lugia. Yeah, like, the T-Tar didn't even get chased at the end of the game, so it's, like, fine. Yeah, it doesn't really matter there. It would have been the same thing no matter what. Yeah, Trevor just couldn't find a Collapse Stadium in time. That's all it was. If Trevor had the Collapse Stadium there, I'm pretty sure there wasn't a way that Anthony was getting the dub. Let's get into it. Final Swiss round of day 2. Reagan with the Lugia. Archeops with single strike Urshifu, which is a pretty big deal because Lee's playing Arctur. So this matchup, triple double turbo. Good thing Starbirth exists to find the 4th one. So the matchup, I'm actually not sure who's favored, to be honest. Like, you have the Urshifu for Reagan to be able to get through the Duraludon, and then Lee has the Duraludon and also has the ability to chase and KO the Urshifu before it could even get used, like punching it. Lee does go first, has a really slow start, actually. So really slow start from Lee here. Fine start from Reagan so far. Yeah, fine start from Reagan. Found the Ursh, or not the Ursh, found the Lugia. Has the Ursh. Has Mezagoza and is debating giving access to it to Lee. I actually don't think I like the Mezagoza play here from Reagan, because it's probably getting replaced next turn by a... The Mezagoza is probably getting replaced by a Lost City. There's a good chance it gets replaced by a Lost City next turn. So Reagan's probably not getting 2 uses of Mezagoza. I guess you could argue that would be the reason to. Or Reagan could play a different Mezagoza next turn, and that would be 2 uses of Mezagoza as well. So there's some Mezagoza in the hand right here from Reagan that I don't hate it. I don't know. But giving it to Lee does not seem particularly good, I guess. Like, yeah, giving Lee access to Mezagoza this turn doesn't seem particularly good. But I think the second Mezagoza might be in the hand there for Reagan. So then I actually don't mind it, I don't think. It's like you're guaranteeing yourself to... No, that's a Serena. It's not a Mezagoza. Yeah, I'm not sure about this Mezagoza play here from Reagan. You really don't want to give Lee access to Mezagoza. But you obviously want it yourself, and potentially 2 uses of it would be pretty good. Because like doubles your chances to find a Pokemon, so... I don't know. Seems pretty good to me to use it twice, but potentially to not give it to Lee is... not giving it to Lee is the question. Well... you have a chance to be the aggressor here as Reagan, because Lee is drawing so slow, so there's like another reason to play it, I guess, and potentially get 2 uses out of it. You're definitely going to be the aggressor here as Reagan, probably. Mezagoza. Tails for Lee. There is the Lost City in the hand, though, for Lee, like I was talking about, like... so it can go Lost City and then probably pass. Lost City pass here, I think, from Lee is the move. You don't want to leave the Mezagoza in play, I don't think, for Reagan to use again. You don't get it next turn for yourself as Lee, I guess, is like the flip side of that. But if Lee started Arc, then I would def play Meza, but not the Durastart. Yeah, with the Durastart makes it, I feel like, a little bit worse to have played the Mezagoza there from Reagan. Reagan has a Serena, and currently is only short... Godheads is currently only short the Lugia V-Star, but here he comes, because now you can Serena away the Chops, and then you have the Lugia V-Star, and then you're... I don't know if you're getting the KO this turn. I don't think you're getting the KO this turn as Reagan. You have to find the Urshifu V-Max and get the energy on it. I don't think that's happening. So Reagan's probably just going to load up... if all single strike energy are in the deck, you probably just mill here as Reagan, and just mill 2 cards. You could also just, like, go to double turbo on the T-Tar and pass, and maybe attach to the single strike Urshifu. That's like also a possibility. You definitely attach the single strike Urshifu to the energy, single strike energy in the hand to Urshifu, I think, and then Serena draw. Yeah, just keep the. You could keep the urn. You don't have to keep the urn here either. Oh no, you're not going to keep the urn because there's 4. You could bench Serena and keep the urn, or then discard the urn and draw the extra card. But the urns are probably still pretty good. Yeah, like I said, I don't think Reagan can win this turn. I don't remember the energy cost. Yeah, because the energy cost of Urshifu, it should be impossible for Reagan to win this turn. So Tails looks like he's going to grab Luminion. Or draw potential options next turn. Probably go look for a research because you don't want to judge Lee if their hand sucks. Another reason, actually, that's probably the reason to not bench a Serena there, of course, as well, because you don't want to bench lock yourself out of Luminion. So, all right, and then here comes the Chops. Probably just a double turbo to the active. Is looking at the gift. Your active's not getting KO'd next turn, though. Your bench isn't getting KO'd either, to be honest. Looks like Reagan is going to go for a mill here. And then, yeah, load up the Ursh on the bench. There's no threat to the Urshifu, so loading it up completely here makes sense, I'm pretty sure. Although Reagan's, like, maybe sussed out about potentially Urshifu, or the Duraludon somehow KO'ing the Urshifu. Puts the V-Guard on it. That doesn't even matter against the Duraludon, though. The V-Guard is, like... You know, maybe you just want to keep... Actually, I think Reagan's just keeping the second single strike energy in the deck so that you could potentially attack with T-Tar with the big attack, which makes sense. Mill 2. The water energy wasn't doing anything for Lee. The Judge would have been good, but it wouldn't have been the next top deck. So let's see how good this next card is for Lee. It's another Duraludon. Okay. Boss up the Lugia and pass. Okay, Reagan just needs the Ursh. Oh, and there's the Ultra Ball. All right, that's a good top deck. All right. Game 1 is quick. Reagan making sure he knows what the card does. Chops 1, DT active, retreat, knockout. All right. Reagan takes game 1 pretty quickly. Into game 2. Lee will, of course, be going first. Let's see those prize cards. If anything important is missing. Single strike energy could be big for a back-to-back. Ursh attacks, actually. So the single strike energy being prized That's what I was talking about earlier when I mentioned that I kind of like one impact energy in this build. So if you prize a single strike energy or you discard a single strike energy through like a research or something, the Urshifu, single strike Urshifu VMAX takes 3 single strike energy or 3 fighting energies, 1 colorless energy. So if you prize this single strike energy, and let's say Reagan goes, okay, triple single strike energy, attach, or another energy, just like a gift, V-Guard, whatever, discard all energy, knock out your Duraludon, draw, 2 prize cards, whatever. If this is stuck in the prize cards, or if you have another single strike energy in the discard pile, through like a research, whatever it might be, on the follow-up attack from the single strike Urshifu, now you need double earn to potentially attack again with single strike Urshifu. Whereas if you play the impact energy, you would just need like 1 earn plus the impact energy, or 1 earn plus the 4 single strike energy, but having that extra fighting energy to work with can like make the difference in that for like the back-to-back single strike Urshifu attacks. It can be a little bit harder to pull off the back-to-back when you only have like the 4. So this being prized here in like the last 2 could definitely affect Reagan actually getting back-to-back Urshifu attacks. So if Lee does have like double Duraludon set up pretty aggressively, then we could see Lee kind of winning because of that. We'll see. And actually, the single strike energy might be the last prize card there for Reagan. I don't know how, when they're flipped like that, I don't know which side they're drawing on first, to be honest. And the Burnett's prize as well. The Burnett also being like a prize card is also pretty annoying. There's a lot of hands with Lugia where you like play through it and you're like, all right, Burnett's the most efficient way for me to get to the double chops. But it looks like Reagan has a pretty good start here, actually. I'm not sure who's, like I said, I'm not sure who's favored in this matchup. So one thing, you need 3 single strike energy to do 330, 2 single strike energy, and impact is 310. Oh wait, is that actually true? Oh, maybe my math on that is just wrong then. I guess you do, yeah, for like to KO Duraludon specifically, then you do need. Okay, then yeah, I'm just wrong on that. I guess the only thing that would actually work against would be Goodra then. So yeah, maybe it isn't worth playing the impact energy then. I just thought you'd KO no matter what, to be honest. I was like, you do a lot of damage, hopefully it's enough. No, wait. No, you are right, yeah. Okay, maybe I'm just wrong then, actually. I guess you shouldn't play, the impact energy is not as good to play then, as I thought it was. Alright. Reagan's still drawing pretty well, though. Research, double chops in the discard pile, I think, yeah. So this turn from Lee, we could see Gust. Am I going to Hartford? I will be at Hartford, yeah. We could see the Gust punch on the Urshifu from Lee. And you definitely want to get another basic Pokemon here from Reagan so it doesn't just get Escape Rope punched. So you're probably just going to go get a T-Tar to play around Escape Rope. Appreciate the 6 monthly sub there, Dusk. We'll probably see the... I mean, so this is like the thing with this matchup with like... So I don't know who's like favored in this matchup. Also because like Reagan doesn't play the Thornton, I believe. I'm going to confirm that, but I'm pretty sure Reagan does not play Thornton. Let's see. Where's Lee's list? Yeah, it doesn't play the Thornton. So like if Lee just has like turn 2 boss punch the Urshifu, like you're already almost trapping Reagan out of like getting to the Urshifu ever. So like going first is a pretty big deal for like who gets to get to the VMAX versus not first and like use the VMAX potentially. You'll appreciate the 12-month sub there, Calamity. Also, like if Reagan, I mean, I don't know. If Reagan goes first, you could turn 2 boss KO the Arceus. It's pretty unlikely though. So pretty good so far from Lee. And this is where you want to probably boss KO Urshifu to be, or boss punch Urshifu. You don't get to KO it. You can't want to KO the Urshifu, but getting the damage on it before it gets to get used is pretty good. So I think from Lee here, we want to see Starbirth for boss and then punch the Ursh. I doubt Reagan is boss KOing your Duraludon next turn. So if you just grab double boss here as Lee, I think you just win. If you just grab 2 boss here as Lee, I'm pretty sure you just win the game, but we'll see. You draw 4 for the win? I don't think so. Is that true, actually? It depends on the rest of the hand for Lee, but boss here is pretty good. Or boss Duraludon. Actually, no. The better play actually is boss Duraludon V, I think. Oh, yeah, and Lee has a boss. Okay, there we go. Boss plus Duraludon V is 100% the play here, yeah. So now, you don't need boss. Boss actually doesn't make any sense. Boss Duraludon V makes sense. So now, Lee's going to go punch Duraludon, or punch the Urshifu, load up a Duraludon. And then even if Reagan has Evolve, boss KO your Duraludon that has the energy, then Lee goes, okay, cool. KO your Urshifu, evolve the Duraludon V to Duraludon VMAX, and then I just win the game. So this boss punch almost checkmates the game here. Looking at the fightings and the medals. And also, well, actually it's a little weird. No. All right, so the one thing that can happen here, though, actually, so this depends on Lee's energy count and left in the deck. The prize cards could be relevant here. I'm trying to find the prize cards so I can look at them again. There's no metal energy prize here for Lee, though. And how many energy does Lee play? Lee plays 4 metal. So this is a little weird from Lee. Because now Reagan can actually go knock out the active plus judge, and then Lee could whiff the metal energy attachment. I don't like this play from Lee, actually. Because let's say Lee... So Lee has 4 metal energy. There's no metal energy prized. So if Lee goes punch with Arceus, and then Reagan goes judge, evolve, knock out your active. If Reagan goes evolve, boss your Duraludon VMAX, KO Duraludon VMAX, then Lee can go, okay, send up the Arceus again, evolve the bench Arceus V to a VMAX, knock out your active, load up the Duraludon VMAX, or just evolve to VMAX plus knockout wins, right? You don't even have to attack theoretically from Lee ever again, as long as you win the deck out. But now Reagan could have judge, plus even retreat the Urshifu to a Stone Journer, knock out with Stone Journer, and then if Lee doesn't have boss immediately, or maybe can't even attack because they don't have the metal energy, but if they have the metal energy plus the boss, they could boss KO the Urshifu and win. But now they could whiff. He plays Belt. Who plays Belt? Lee? Does Belt matter? Wait, why does Belt matter? Oh, because Dirty Ass if Lee played Choice Belt. Yeah, Lee does play Choice Belt, but Choice Belt doesn't KO the Urshifu. You're still off by 10 damage. So I don't like this play from Lee, I don't think. I think Lee should have loaded up this Duraludon VMAX here. I don't like the non-load up here. Yeah, not loading up here means you can lose to Judge now. Like, Reagan can go Judge. Judge, retreat, knockout with Stone Journer would be the play. Is it possible for Reagan to actually retreat and knockout with Stone Journer? It should be possible. So Reagan wants to go Judge, retreat, knockout with Stone Journer. Yeah. And then not having the Duraludon immediately set up from Lee means that Lee can't just win with boss. It needs to draw into quite a few metal energy to have a chance to win the game here. And this is, like I said, once again, though, even if you fully loaded up this Duraludon with energy, Lee didn't prize any energy. So maybe there could be an awkward hand here from Lee. That could be the only thing. Lee's hand could be awkward. It could have like research plus like 2 metals, 3 metals, which I don't think it does. I think it's just research and something. So Lee, if Lee just loads up the 2 metal energy here on this Duraludon, even if, what was I going to say? Man, I don't even know where I was going with that, to be honest. I'm just like saying things at this point. I was like, what was I trying to say? I don't remember what I tried to weigh. No Stone Boy in Reagan's list, right? That's right. It matters. Contact the play you were talking about. Oh, true. There is no Stone Journer in the list here for Reagan. Okay, that's actually a pretty big deal. Okay, there is no... The play still works out. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So then you could... Lee can't, like, go boss knock out the Urshifu. That's what I want to get to. Is like, Lee can't go boss KO Urshifu next turn. There's no Stone Journer in Reagan's list, though, so that Reagan can't even make that play. So Reagan needs to go... It's fine, though. Reagan can just go attack with T-Tar... Yeah, Reagan can just go T-Tar knockout still, though, I think. Yeah, Reagan could also like eventually run out of energy because of all these plays, but... So Reagan can just go T-Tar knockout here, which is the same thing as doing the Stone Journer knockout. Basically, you should need to take a knockout with something that is not Urshifu VMAX. You're right, there is no Stone Journer in Reagan's list, but you should need to take a knockout with something that is not Urshifu. If you attack with Urshifu, all Lee needs is the metal energy. But now Lee doesn't even have a metal energy in play, so Lee can't even just win off of boss, effectively, here. Comes the minion. I assume the judge is going to happen here because I don't think Reagan... Actually, I think Megan... I think Reagan maybe does know... I don't know if Reagan knows for sure that Lee held one of the Starbirth cards or not. If you know Lee held a Starbirth card, then you probably want to judge. But Lee didn't take triple metal here. Double metal here. Ooh, the penny is actually pretty cool here. Oh, the penny's like super secure, actually. Yeah, the penny's actually super secure. I didn't think about the penny play. Resets it. Yeah, see, once again, if Lee had put 3 energy here, if Lee just top decks boss, Lee just wins the game. But now Lee can't even win off that top deck of the boss. Not Megan. What was I saying? Lee. Jesus Christ, bro, I'm losing my mind. Yeah. Reagan, I think Reagan knows there's a Starbirth card in the hand, but there's not triple metal here, so you know that you're not under threat of a triple metal attack. Because there's no way he can KO my VMAX if I do that, then maybe I could get off second Nova if he whiffs. I think I should have grabbed Dura V and Judge the penny play. Yeah, the penny play is pretty big here. There's no way he can KO my Derby Max if I do that. Then maybe I could get off a second Nova if he whiffs. I just think you should have put the third metal on the Duraludon, to be honest, Lee. I think you should put the third metal on, or the second metal on the Duraludon. I think that's like what you should have started with. Like that should have happened, I feel like. Yeah. The penny play puts you in a pretty bad spot no matter what, to be honest, though. The penny play is pretty gross. Another Ultra Ball from Reagan. Gets the Ursh. This does protect it from it getting KO'd. If it wasn't for the penny play, you'd be in a fine spot, but the penny play makes things pretty awkward. Reagan could still get screwed over here, though, by the discard 4 play. Yeah, you could like discard all your urns or something here as Reagan. I don't think there's any urns in hand, so unlikely to happen. Using that attack is always so nerve-wracking, though. We'll see. Attach to the bench. You probably want to evolve it, or I guess not though. Reagan's not evolving the. Nothing too relevant. That's actually interesting. Why wouldn't Reagan evolve it there? I mean, you're basically assuming. I think it's fine for Reagan to assume that Lee does not have Metal Boss because of how Lee played out the last turn and did not put double metal on the Duraludon. So I think that's fine. This turn from Lee, you probably need to try and evolve the bench plus attach a metal to the bench now. Can't evolve. Oh yeah, because they just pennied it. They just pennied it. All right, yeah. I'm paying attention, I swear. Yeah, they just penny it so they can't evolve it. So we have the second evolution here from Lee, which is a big deal. The second evolution is a big deal. Because otherwise, Reagan could go boss KO the bench one with T-Tar and then only need to get one attack off with the Urshifu. But now Reagan does need to get off 2 Urshifu attacks, which is a lot of energy to go through. That's definitely a lot of energy to go through. And to be honest, no, Reagan should have enough energy to do it, though. I think there's still 3 urns left in the deck. So Reagan can just sit up there until Reagan draws the play. Can just sit up there and mill. I like the switch as well there from Lee. I would have attached. I think his turn was so long it could have evolved. I think Lee maybe should have attached a double turbo active here though. Which does it reduce the damage you do? No, it does reduce the damage you do. Actually, that's not that good. Well, the active one's not attacking anytime soon. No, you probably should. Oh. Because you want to potentially be able to retreat this one if you draw a metal. That's like so far away, though. The play that Lee could make happen in 2 turns would be if Lee attaches the double turbo to the active, and then next turn attaches a water to the active or a metal to the bench, and then the following turn water to the active or metal to the bench. You could retreat. Now, does Lee play? Lee does play the Raihan. Then you could retreat, Gust KO the Urshifu VMAX, and punch it before Reagan is able to find the urns, possibly. Gust and punch the Urshifu VMAX, and then go, your Duraludon gets KO'd, and then you go Raihan, attach a metal, search the deck for the metal. Of course, I assume you find the Raihan, but then you get the Raihan, do the Raihan, and then go from there. So the double turbo to the active, it's a little weird, though. You know Reagan's evolving. No, the double turbo to the active actually always makes sense because you know Reagan's evolving the V to the VMAX next turn. Reagan's not going to float a V here. So attaching the double turbo to the active always makes sense here, actually. Also, if because it's going to evolve as well, if Lee can ever boss the Urshifu up, Reagan can't retreat twice. So yeah, I think actually attaching to the double turbo to the active there actually always makes sense, because even next turn, if you could just boss the Urshifu, because even next turn if you get a metal and you can go retreat boss punch, Reagan can't retreat the Urshifu to the T-Tar, and then the T-Tar back to the Urshifu, and then KO that Duraludon in 1 turn. So you have like another turn to play the game, guaranteed, with that Duraludon being online, and build up towards that Raihan play once again. So I think Lee definitely should have attached that double turbo to the active here. I could be trolling, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. I think I am correct on this one. Of course, this is all assuming that Reagan just doesn't KO your Pokemon this turn. If Reagan just KOs your Pokemon this turn, you probably just lose. Well, no, there would need to be a follow-up attack from Reagan, but... Reagan can Cragalanche for free. That's true. It's probably not great. That would be kind of like assuming... No, you're right. Yeah, Cragalanche kind of always beats you in that. All right, no urn yet from Reagan. Yeah, so I wonder if Reagan should like retreat... Like, Reagan should maybe retreat the T-Tar this turn. Like, maybe... Well, if there was the double turbo on the active, maybe should have. Because then Lee could have gone metal plus boss. Because once again, you can't retreat twice as Reagan. I think Lee can probably safely assume there's no escape rope in Reagan's deck after seeing the penny. Playing penny and escape rope is cringe. Reagan's lists usually aren't very cringe, so pretty good discards as well. Yeah, so like if the double turbo was on the active here, yeah, the double turbo should just be on the active here. I'm pretty convinced actually at this point. The double turbo should just have been on the active or Duraludon on the last turn. It should have just been on the active last turn, 100%. I think I convinced myself of that one. The possibility to be able to retreat that and punch with the bench Duraludon, whether it be this turn or next turn, or the turn after that even, I think is worth the double turbo existing there. Especially because you knew the VMAX was evolving. That was the biggest thing. We definitely want to see... Also, I guess Lee still should have actually attached a double turbo this turn as well before the judge for the same reason. Because even if Lee sees a metal energy here, you can't attach the metal energy anyways. But once again, you still want to try and get that threat of Gust KO as soon as possible. So even before the judge happened on this turn, just like last turn from Lee should have attached a double turbo to the active Duraludon for the exact same reasons, and build up toward the possibility of retreating the active plus attacking with the bench one. We'll see if Reagan has. Reagan does have an urn, so Reagan can. I mean, I guess you just go for it. Ideally, you have a boss here as well from Reagan, but you don't want to wait until Lee can kind of boss you. So. Boom, energy on. Now Reagan does just have to find one more urn. Yeah, one more urn. Reagan needs one more urn, and then the game is basically over. There are actually the urns in hand. Let's go. We got it. Judge him into 2 urns. Let's go, bro. Lee's on another level with these plays. Love to see it. All right, Schlapp. Oh, and gets the single strike energy off the prize cards. It was not the last prize card. Okay, so now we know. If it was the last prize card, that would have made things so much harder for Reagan. But really good odds of pulling it there, obviously. And Reagan probably knew it was prize as well. Over to Lee. No metal, pass. And then, boom, earn for 2. Got the single strike energy off the prize cards. And that is game. Oh, is there one more? Actually. Oh, my gosh. This actually would have gotten really interesting if... Nah, it wouldn't have been that. Well, if Lee had boss on Archeops there... No, there's another urn in the deck from Reagan eventually to get... Retreat. Now with one more urn in the deck, I think it would have been Reagan would have always won eventually. Yeah, I think Reagan always wins eventually there. I was like thinking about it, like maybe if there was a boss there from Lee, but I don't think Lee had a boss in hand. So, and Lee would have played a boss if they had one. I'm pretty sure.